I made a mascot horror game in just 48 hours, and the catch is that you're in an abandoned subway where the only thing you can do is drinking soda until the next train arrives. And nothing bad will happen, unless you decide to litter. But let's start from the beginning. Where did the idea came from? I've always liked horror games, especially mascot horror games, but I wasn't sure if I would be able to make a good horror game on the basis of not having made one before. So I said, why not making a game in 48 hours to see what I'm capable of? So I sat in my chair and started looking for reference. I tried not to simply copy the concept of Poppy Playtime, like every mascot horror game does, which is basically a monster chasing you while you are solving puzzles in a childish place. I wanted to do something more original, a more bizarre horror, with a little comedy tone. So I thought, what's more terrifying than watching a person drinking a soda and then throw it on the ground? That's not right, is it? So I decided to make a game to punish this kind of people. For that, I decided that the game will take place on an abandoned subway, where you wake up after having missed your last train, and there is no choice but to wait for the next day's train. Meanwhile, you can have a walk through the spooky station, and to make the wait more pleasant, you can take soda from the vending machine. But once you finish your soda, what will you do? Will you throw it in the garbage can like a good citizen, or will you throw it on the ground and piss that thing off? Now that we have an interesting concept, we just need to create a good horror atmosphere. This is one of the most important things in a horror game, since a good dark and terrifying ambience is essential to generate immersion. We need the user to feel that he is really there alone, in the face of danger. And for that, I went to Blender and I modeled a subway station in a very simple way, and added a few doors, benches, garbage cans, and most importantly, vending machines. And then I created a new project in Unity using HDRP template. This template is used by great games like Lethal Company, and it allows to obtain more realistic illuminations, and cool things like volumetric fog and volumetric lights, and more useful things to build your dark ambience. I imported my models and started playing with the lighting, until I achieved the dark look I was looking for. I also thought about adding a pixelated filter to the game, since a lot of indie horror games usually do it, and for me it looks very cool. And it also serves to hide the failures of my models and textures. And the most important thing in a horror game, the sound effects. Sound effects are extremely important as they help the user to feel completely immersed in the game. And for now, I'll be using footsteps and a fluorescent light ambient sound effect. And to improve this, I'll add a reverb effect. And now it just remains to take a walk to see how it feels to walk down here. Very creepy. Now that we have your creepiest scene, it's time to program the core of the game, picking up cans and throwing them away. And for that, I'm going to model a simple can and find some cool sound effects for it. Now I'll make the vending machine logic that will allow us to pick up the sodas. And now comes the crucial part. What will you do with the empty can? Well, if you are one of those who like littering, every time you throw a can on the ground, some paranormal event will occur. To give a linear path to the game's story and avoid the player exhausting my limited paranormal event collection throwing infinite cans, I decided to limit the use of the vending machine with coins. These coins will be placed around the map. I decided to put only 3 of them on the main room, so the player could only drink 3 sodas. And when he throws each of them away, a different paranormal event will occur. The first one will be simply a light failing in the distance. The second one, a light breaking. And the third one will be the security cameras turning on to watch you. And you'll be wondering, what will happen if I throw the can into the garbage can? Well, you will simply be applauded for being a good citizen. And the vending machine will drop you another coin. But the funny of this is that the throwing mechanic is so poorly done that it's extremely hard to throw it inside the garbage can, which makes it very comical to see how even though you're a good citizen and want to recycle, you're always going to screw up and throw it on the ground. And well, what happens if the player decides to throw the first 3 cans on the ground? The player will feel the need to go to the bathroom, and here is where he will begin to realize that he isn't the only one down here. And here is where your mascot appears, because without it I couldn't call it Mascot Horror Game and attract the attention of the YouTube algorithm. I decided that the mascot that stalks us will be an evil can.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
So to do it, I took the previous can that I modeled and added a few terrifying teeth and blood stains. And for the arms and the legs, as I only had less than 24 hours remaining, I decided to reuse the body of the character from my other game, which by the way is a very cool game. I will leave here some freakies for you. And here we have the Evil Can. Although it's a bit weird that it has gloves, but it still is cool, I guess.
It's the biggest piece.
And very important, making a friendly mascot design to place around the map, so that the player knows what is coming. Following the story of the game, what will happen when the player enters the bathroom? He will find a toilet where he can pee, and when he does, he will be rewarded with a coin. And when he heads back to the vending machine, the evil can will make his first appearance. And now that the player knows for sure that there is someone else there, my idea was to increase the player's concern with new paranormal events. So when the player drops the next can, this will happen. A freak can just dropped from the auto-starting machine. Very creepy. The tension was building well so far. For the next paranormal event, I made that the vending machine stopped working, what will force the player to go to the maintenance room, where he will find a wrench that will help him to fix the machine. But obviously, I'm not going to make it that easy for him. I placed another small scare when he left the room, and I programmed the most troll mechanic in the game. Every time you hit the machine to fix it, a can will fall to the ground, making the user feel guilty because he couldn't do anything to catch them before they fell. And all this will end with the most desperate moment of the game. And with this, we reach the final climax, in which the player must enter the electricity door and find nothing more and nothing less than... And that's all. You can escape. Understand me, I ran out of budget and time. If you want to play it, you can download on itch.io from the link on the description. And if you want a video like this, you can subscribe and leave a like. And if you don't want to miss any news, you can join my Discord. I give away case to my other games almost every week, so join now.